that is the moment of the game. It's Connor McDavid going out or going down with his injury. And we'll get to all your comments in the chat in a bit. But again, like a fairly innocent looking play in the sense of like, it was a trip. I am not sitting here and telling you that like that was a penalty for sure. Innocent but penalty. It wasn't like McDavid was coming in as we run it back and credit to Sportsnet for the highlight. It's not like he was coming in full speed. It's not like he wound up in his own zone and was zipping and then crashed into the end boards. Like think about when Barkov got hurt a few weeks ago, right? It was like, whoa, that looked bad. He was laying on the ice. The trainers came out. Like McDavid, again, pops back up, goes for a little skate. When you watch that replay, you definitely see his ankle got jammed into the boards a little bit, but like he pops back up. He takes a couple of strides before realizing that something is not right. And then he goes off. And honestly, like I do think, Aaron, you were talking about this before. I know you hit on it, obviously, on After Dark last night, but like the initial reaction, I think Stauffer even kind of said it on the broadcast, like, this might be an equipment thing. Like maybe his skate blade came loose. And that's why, again, he like got up and was like, okay, I probably can't skate on that. Obviously, we know that is not the case at all. But this was the moment of the game, not returning. And then you get all of the reports that come with it. You get the doctors on Twitter and all of that kind of stuff. I know we had heard from a few people, not that serious, but Knobloch says after the game, he's traveling back to Edmonton. They're going to be cautious with this. And that obviously is the right move here. Like as much as we are worried about a team that is one game below 500 and just got smoked by the Columbus Blue Jackets, you need to remember it's October 29th. This is a long season. And at the end of the day, this roster should, and we'll get into this, but it should be good enough to win some games without McDavid. Another angle of this is why you need to rack up wins when you can. The Oilers over the last couple of years have been a remarkably healthy hockey team.
Yeah, totally.
We've made the point a bunch of times that like their blue line specifically, they are so lucky that over the last 3 seasons, they've basically dealt with no significant injuries on their blue line in the regular season. And even the ones that happen in the playoffs, it's guys playing through them. Up front, I know McDavid wasn't 100% all of last year, but he played 77 games or whatever the hell it ended up being. And outside of Evander Kane, everybody else has been incredibly healthy. So you need to win when the going's good, because now you're staring down the barrel of what could very easily be a handful of weeks without your best player. And guess what? If you go and only win 2 of your next 7 games because you don't have Connor McDavid and things just got that much tougher, you're going to be 6-10-1. And that's not, and I know whatever, I may be being a little bit too extreme here, but like, would you be stunned if the Oilers went 2-5-0 without Connor McDavid? No, you wouldn't be. And you look at these numbers, the PK sucks, the power play sucks. They're giving up a ton because their goaltending has not been good. And for some reason, they can't score. And the new guys they brought in, except, with Jeff Skinner excluded, aren't playing well. Guys who were good last year aren't playing good. Like, it's a lot of bad right now. And then you combine that again with McDavid going down. And sure, maybe this is some sort of a wake-up call for this team, but based on how they reacted last night, I'm not sure how you can be overly confident that it will be a wake-up call for them. The wake-up call was Connor McDavid going down the tunnel, and in turn, they totally collapsed against Columbus. Nugent Hopkins on the Oilers missing McDavid. Yeah, I mean, of course, he's our leader. He's also the best player in the game. Of course, you're going to feel it. We got to do a better job of stepping up like that when a guy goes down, though. So anyways, I've kind of said my piece. It's obviously concerning, and not in the sense that we're sitting here wondering if he's going to miss months. It sounds like early reports are it's weeks, but still, based on what we've seen from this team through 3 weeks now, I have very little reason to be optimistic this will be a turning point for them.
I don't know. I feel like I get it, but I feel like you're kind of piling on him a little bit too. Like, it cannot get worse for them, quite frankly.
Well,
at the end of the day, you're looking at a top 6 that isn't scoring goals outside of McDavid and Draisaitl. So really, like, we're going to be like Draisaitl. Everyone's going to be like, Draisaitl needs to carry this team. He does. He's going to be that best player. But guys like Hyman, Nuge, Arvidsson, Podkolzin, like, those are the guys that need to step up and figure it out. Like, even last night, you kind of could see the frustration from Knobloch, I think, in a way too, with the power play unit of the second unit started a couple more times than what the first unit was doing. The second unit was the one Ekholm got the goal, and granted late in the game, but I think that's going to be kind of the key here is like the power play needs to figure out what it's going to do, and the special teams is going to be the big difference for me. It's like those guys have essentially been the reason the Oilers have been losing so many games. Like we can sit here and pile on the goaltending, which again wasn't good enough last night by any means, but special teams, what does that say? 27th in the NHL in power play and dead last in the NHL in penalty kill. That's got to be the difference for me. Those two have got to figure it out. But this team has the pieces to survive without McDavid for a little bit. And if they can kind of, I don't even know what would be satisfactory. Like if they can somehow get above 500 without him and get on a bit of a run here, and this team can gain some confidence, which is what I'm going to kind of go off is like, how long is Hyman not going to score for? How long is News not going to get rolling for, right? Eventually, those guys are going to figure it out. Granted, it's not ideal that McDavid's on here, but once those guys get going, they can wrap some wins together without McDavid, however long that will be.
Yeah.
Maybe that gives McDavid a little extra runway to be like, okay, team's doing well right now. We can give him these next 2 games off, whenever that may be. And then we don't have the same situation as last year where like, kind of get to the end of the season, McDavid has to sit out a few more games, and you get into the playoffs and he's still not 100%. It takes him a while, and that's kind of, I'm trying to be a bit more optimistic about it. But I mean, I totally get it.
It stinks. I'd rather it happen in October than April, but that's just me huffing on copium. That's just,
Yeah, and I mean, I appreciate the optimism, and I get what you're saying, where like, and I'm usually one that's on board with like hey, they're due. I just look at Zach Hyman not scoring, Nugent Hopkins not scoring, Arvidsson not scoring, and I'm going, are they going to start scoring now that 97's out? Like it's getting harder for them to snap out of their slumps now. And I get like they're eventually going to score,
but there's no choice. They have to score.
Well, yeah, if the Oilers want to win, but like,
and
Stuart Skinner has to make a save, and the blue line has to be better, but like. It's you can't just say that. Like it's harder to do it.
But that's what needs to happen. Those guys, they have no choice now. They have to step up and go, and playing in Nashville, a building that you've done pretty well in recently, going up. And I mean, like if there's one team you want to play against in the NHL when McDavid's out and you have Leon Draisaitl, is the Nashville Predators. So choosing to be optimistic because, quite frankly, we have no choice.
Copium.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.